Hey team, beginner sparring drills. Let's have a look at some ways that you can start training to help yourself get more defensive so you can have more success with boxing. Let's go. Hey team, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the Sweet Science. We're joined by Steve today. We're going to go over some of your drills that you should be doing to help you get better at sparring. Sparring is about punching, we know, but it's also about defense as well. So we're going to go over some reactive drills that you can do at home or at your gym to help you get better. Let's have a look. So, defensive drills. We have done some of this in shadow boxing in a previous video, and I'll leave a link in the description below. But they're partner drills. They're things that we can do with a partner to help you get a bit more timing and a bit more reactive. And we're going to show you how to do it Southpaw as well. But to begin with, we'll do it Orthodox v Orthodox. So we'll be in a closed stance. In my opinion, you want to be doing this with someone that you trust. Leave your egos at the door, okay? Because this could quite easily turn into a kebab shop fight. We're just going to pop some jabs at each other. We're going to do it nice and steady. And we're going to work on that backhand catch. We're going to do it completely stationary to begin with because we want to get our range right. What we don't want to do is me be out here, Steve throw his jab, and me start meeting out here. You can see there's an obvious problem. And truth of the matter is, if Steve threw his jab from there, I don't have to do nothing. Okay, it's too far away. So you want to make sure you're in range of each other. Come forward, look at Steve. So if you want to throw a jab, you can hit me on the chin, and same with me to Steve. And all we're going to do is, I'm going to go first, he's going to backhand catch, and he'll pause a second and he'll throw a jab at me. Nice and simple. It will look like this. Notice, we're not trying to fake each other out, we're just trying to get timing and a bit of reaction going. Neither of us are trying to stop the punch too far away. What I mean from that is this. Not trying to stop the punch out here. I'm literally turning the hand over and high-fiving the punch. The elbow's not moving too far out, giving away a potential body shot. Steve just punches again. A bit quicker, mate. Quick. 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 Once you kind of feel comfortable with that, you can start moving that around with exactly the same drill, but make sure you're comfortable with that first. So, once you're comfortable with that and you've done it over and over again, so you're nice and relaxed and able to see that shot coming, you can start moving around a little tiny bit. Again, take it steady, leave your egos at the door. This is a training drill to help ease you into sparring. So we're going to do Orthodox v Orthodox again, and then we'll have a quick look at Southpaw v Orthodox. So we're going to move around a little bit this time, not spend too long doing it. You can get the gist of the drill. So Steve, I'll punch first. Okay? So you can see from there, we weren't trying to feint each other out. It wasn't like I was trying to do this to Steve, trying to get him to react. It was just a timing drill. Spend plenty of time doing that, get used to seeing that punch coming. Let's have a quick look at Southpaw versus Orthodox. So Southpaw versus Orthodox in what we call an open stance. What you don't want to do now is do the same drill but with an opposite stance, i.e. Steve throws his jab and I backhand catch it. That's just weird. His fastest punch is getting way too close. In Southpaws, this is a little bit more who has got the dominant lead hand in the defense. We're not going to speak about I've got the outside lane, he's got the outside lane yet. This is just a reactive drill. So Southpaw v Orthodox, we're literally just front hand catching on both parts. So if Steve pops his jab at me, front hand catching. If I pop my jab at Steve, he's front hand catching. We high five. There is an element you can reach a little bit further on this one because, again, Southpaw v Orthodox, it is literally a little bit like who is controlling this front hand. And in an ideal situation, If you're being dominant, your lead hand will be slightly above their lead hand, which is why you see this happen a lot, Southpaw for the Orthodox. You see this happen a lot. I'm trying to look to see if I can get above that hand, so I can start moving around from there. But how it works when we're just moving, we're just working that reactive timing, so we'll just have a little move around and we'll look at something else as well. I'll punch first. So there's something for you Southpaws to work on as well. Let's dig and have another look at something else. So another good drill that you want to start practicing with a partner is your parry drills. Again, we've covered this in videos with shadow boxing, so again I'll leave a link in the description for it as well. Remember, when you're doing parries, it's not passing the hand, in my opinion, it's not passing the hand past the face. What I mean by that, I'll take this hand out of the way so you can see. Steve throws his jab, it's not that. Yeah, it's 100% not this. It is the hand stays here and I rotate. You have to stay defensively responsible all the time. So, I'll take this hand out so you can see a bit better. I don't want to go push it over here. Right, so what I want to do is pull this shoulder away and rotate to get the deflection. Just a bit quicker, mate. Notice my hand, yes, my hand moved from here to here because my body moved. I didn't pass it from here. So the jab comes out, and that's what we call a parry. I'm doing an outside parry. I'm going from the outside of his punch and parrying there from there. And obviously I'm going to his dead side as well. It's the same for Steve. This is Orthodox for the Orthodox. So I throw my jab at Steve. He'll just drop that hand segment so you can see. So he's going to pull his left shoulder back and rotate and just deflect that shot off the side. Again, we'll do it stationary and then we'll have a little bit of move around with it as well so you can see from there. So do you want to punch first, mate? Notice we're not reaching out here for it. I'll do a bad demonstration. Yeah, okay, stay nice and tight. So we'll have a little bit of a move around with that as well so you can see how it works. I'll punch. So there's an outside parry for you to work on. We'll have a quick look at Orthodox versus Southpaw as well. So Southpaw versus Orthodox, again, I'm taking the position of the Southpaw. It's actually the same thing. Steve will throw his jab. For me, it's the same thing. Instead of being in this stance and doing a backhand parry, I'm doing the same parry, but from the Southpaw position. When I throw my jab at Steve, excuse me, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to take his lead hand, so it changes for him this time. It's the opposite hand. For me, it's the same hand on the parry. For Steve, it's the opposite hand because he's still in Orthodox. So Steve throws his jab at me. There's my parry. Again, it's not this. I'm not doing this. Yeah, I'm just rotating from there. Okay? And when I throw mine at Steve, remember, I'm not trying to punch his hand either. I'm going through the central line. That's down to him to get this rotation done. Opens up and rotates. I'll punch again. And again. Punch me. There is an element to having the outside lane on this, but that's for a different drill to do with our sparring section as well. But if you just do that, moving around a little tiny bit as well, so you can see how that works. Do you want me to punch first, mate? So, ways to deal with the jab. At the end of the day, the jab is the most used punch in boxing. It's the #1 punch in boxing for a reason. So you want to make sure dealing with a jab is one of your priorities as well. So slipping your opponent's jab, a very important skill, and one you should take your time with, in my opinion as well, because what you don't really want is that jab coming down the line and this huge slip over here. Everyone does in the beginning. Steve just throws a jab at me slowly. People do this because they want to get out of the way too quickly. You should be doing this with a partner that you trust. We don't have any gum shields in, we don't have any head guards on. The only protection we have is our gloves. I trust Steve and he trusts me. I hope. So I want to be there's a couple of things to work on here. Minimalising the movement that you're doing so you can nail down that movement because it's quicker to counter attack. Excuse me. And also picking up the timing of the punch as well. Again, we're not going to do any feints, we're just going to throw a shot and get used to it. So we can slip inside or outside. I know some people in the comments might say, don't ever slip to the inside. You can. We'll talk about that another time. So again, take it nice and slow. You don't have to be going into this at 100 miles an hour. And again, this is orthodox for the orthodox. So if Steve throws his jab straight down the pipe towards me, I'm going to slip to the outside. I'll throw my jab at Steve. He can slip anywhere he wants to. He's going to be outside. This time I'll slip to the inside. So I'm trying not to preempt that punch. Preempt that punch, i.e. throws the punch. I've gone before he threw the punch. Okay, I'm trying to pick up the movement that he's doing and just pop off to the side. Again, I went a little bit too far that time. Personally, I've not done these drills for quite a while, but that punch missed me by about that much. That's too much gap. So we'll just do a couple nice and stationary, nice and slow, so you can see what we're doing. I'll punch first, mate. We'll move that around a little tiny bit so we can get a little bit of speed going into it, but not too much. This is beginner friendly. I'll punch first, mate. So let's have a little look how that changes with Southpaw versus Orthodox. So this is something for you to think about, Southpaw versus Orthodox. Yes, you could do the same drill if your feet were train tracked and you was in lane 2. However, one of the key points to Southpaw versus Orthodox is somebody wants the dominant outside lane. If you see mine and Steve's feet from here, we are train tracked. Okay, so me being the Southpaw, I actually want that outside lane. It comes down to lane theory again. Means my backhand will go down the lane quite quickly, and that's me in a more dominant position. So, if I have the outside lane, and Steve throws his jab at me, I don't want to slip to the inside of that. Steve's hand comes out, because he's going on a slight angle, that's actually quite a long way for me to get past that punch. So it makes more sense for me if I have the outside lane to slip to the outside if the jab comes out. I have less movement to make on that particular skill set. Whereas if Steve has the outside lane, trying to be the dominant orthodox, I just slip to the outside. If he throws his jab again, I don't want to slip to the outside now because that's also a long way to go. He's going to catch me. So if he's on the outside, I'm on the inside, I'm going to slip to the inside. If I'm on the outside, he's on the inside, he throws a jab, I'm going to slip to the outside. That's something for you to bear in mind as a Southpaw, or if you're fighting a Southpaw, where should I be slipping? Who has the dominant footwork? So, again, I'll have the outside lane, so when I throw my jab at Steve, it would make sense for him to slip to the inside of my jab. Excuse me, because if he slips to the outside, he's got a long way to go. Whereas if he slips to his inside of my jab, he's got less to move, and same for me, I'll go to the outside of his jab. We'll just do this stationary so you can see, nice and steady. I'll punch first, mate. And again, reverse them roles. Steve has the outside dominant lane, so I'm not going to slip to the outside. He throws his jab, I'm going to slip to the inside of it. He'll slip to the outside of my jab. I'll just do one wrong. Even though it hit my shoulder, what could potentially happen from there? So maybe that's a hard punch, And because of the nature of the position I'm putting myself in, it hits my shoulder, that's going to off balance me. Little bit dramatic there, I know, but he's still making contact with a position on me that throws me off balance. So that's something for you to bear in mind as a Southpaw versus an Orthodox. So obviously one of the best things to do to defend that jab is not be there. Again, I've done some videos on footwork and a layback as well. So all we're going to do, we're going to throw a jab at each other from Orthodox to Orthodox. Just pick up the movement and we're either going to take a movement step and a recovery step. 1, 2, not too far. Okay, so I'm in range for Steve right now because if I was to not move it, it'd hit me. What I don't want to do, I'm going to put my hands down so you can see for each other. Alright, so he didn't hit me. I can't hit him back either. Okay? So from there, I'm going to do a movement and a recovery. So it doesn't have to be far. If you think about it, here he's hit, here he's missed. Or he's overbalanced trying to hit me. Okay? So it's just a little movement from there. I'll keep my hands down because I trust him that much. I'll get a little bit closer. Or we can put that into a layback, which is basically moving the back foot. It's not an argument. Some people will say bend the back leg. Some people, like myself, will take that drop step. Doesn't really matter which one you do as long as you're comfortable with the one you're doing. So I just do the same thing. I don't advise you do it with your hands down. I've just got my hands down so you can see it a little bit better. So this time I'll do a layback. So that's my front foot. He didn't throw the punch. That's my front foot staying in position and my back foot moving. So there's my movement and recovery. There's my lean. And there's my layback. So we'll have a little bit of a move around so you can see what that looks like as well. I'll punch first. And of course, Southpaw versus Orthodox is actually just the same thing. Let's spin around, buddy. I'll punch first. So there's something to look at as well. We'll put all of that together for one little demonstration at the end, and then we can go away and practice. So once you're comfortable with all those drills, and trust me guys, they take repetition and take your time with it as well. But then you can just start having a little playful spar with someone that you trust, using any one. There's lots more of these to look at yet as well. This is the start of where we're going to go with your partner drills. But once you've kind of got a little bit comfortable with that and the person you're working with, you can take those drills and they'll throw a jab at you, can catch it, you can parry it, you can inside parry, you can slip it, back step it. It becomes a little bit more playful sparring. Go to Thailand. They don't spar hard all of the time, they do playful sparring, and this is where you learn. So we'll just do an Orthodox v Orthodox, excuse me, and use any one of those few things that we just looked at on dealing with the jab. Again, we're taking it one punch at a time. No, Steve will throw a punch at me, I will throw at him. This is not free form sparring, okay? I'll punch first. Oi! So there's a little look at something you can do. Have fun with it. You shouldn't need protective gear. It should be nice and relaxed, learning to pick up the motion of the punch, your timing, your reactions from there. Have a work on some of them and see how you get on. So there you go, team. There's a few things for you to practice. Take your time with them. Don't start. Go with someone that you trust. Okay, because what you don't want to do is, particularly like the backhand catch, start panicking and start getting these habits of pulling your hands out here. That's nice and tight. Just turn the hand over, give the punch a bit of a high five. It shouldn't cause you, it shouldn't be done at a pace where you're being startled or anything like that as well. If you like the content, if you like and subscribe, you'll see more content like this from us. Have fun with your drills, take time. If you are a complete beginner, you've never done that before, I can't emphasize enough, just go nice and steady. It doesn't have to be done 100 miles an hour. In the old days, we used to do this thing where you would get thrown in a ring with someone to see what you're made of. It shouldn't be done like that. You don't need to be taking unnecessary punishment when you haven't built up a particular skill set to defend yourself anyway. So take your time, let me know how you get on in the comments. Train safe, train hard, and until next time, I'll see you soon.